I didn't really think I'd be making a video about a marble being disqualified. Like, yeah, the Pinkies have done it, and that moment definitely deserves a video on its own. But this situation feels different. There's some juicy controversy in this one, with everyone having differing opinions and reasonings for their views. But let's strip all that away for a second. Let's take a look at this incident organically. It's time. We check out the disqualification from the 2021 Triathlon. There are only two teams this incident matters to, the Rojo Rollers and the Crazy Cat's Eyes. One of those teams recently came off the most dominant win in history, like it seriously wasn't close. They had high expectations coming into this Marble League, and they were the hosts. The Rojo Rollers, on the other hand, had finally made it back to the Marble League for the first time since 2016. They were excited to be back and make some noise, but all the noise they could muster up to this point was a 15th place in the standings. And although the rest of the field was crazy close, the Rojo Rollers were far off. I bet their fans were pretty much hoping for anything at this point, but they never imagined this. But now, it's time we get to this moment. Right off the track section, the Rojo Rollers had just made the switch into third place. Blue Eye attempted to cut around the Rollers as they were taking the inside line, but Blue Eye didn't get by in time. Rojo Trace miscalculated the curve right here, and Blue Eye made a sudden move for bingo. To get that move, however, Blue Eye bumped Rojo Trace off the sand. Immediately after the race ended, officials gathered up. After quite the talk, with not only Blue Eye but also Rojo Trace, the officials handed Blue Eye a DSQ. All that is the how. But now the why. Why did Blue Eye get a disqualification? Well, let's first hear from these two marbles. Rojo Trace was very outraged over this whole situation, as they believed they had a chance at bingo. Quote, "I was creeping up on bingo just as they went high off the walls. That was my chance. I was about to go until suddenly I felt a shove from behind. You know the rest. I appreciate the actions taken by the officials, but that does not erase the DNF I was handed. A DNF that was completely out of my control." You don't have to agree or believe any of the beginning part here, but this line is important, and it's significant in determining whether this disqualification was fair. Rojo Trace was put out of competition because another marble shoved him off the course. But now, let's hear what Blue Eye had to say. Like Rojo Trace, they were also frustrated, but for different reasons. Quote, "It's not the ruling that I'm mad about. It's the fact that the decision paints the incident like I did it on purpose, which is far from the case. I was trying to get by once I saw Rojo Trace slightly slow down and bingo slow as well. There was no malicious attempt." Boom. That's the line we'll focus on for Blue Eye. Why? Well, that was actually one of the reasonings for the disqualification given to us by a JMA member, was that Blue Eye's impact was intentional. On the flip side, though, is that many people actually think Rojo Trace is at fault. This is because Blue Eye was taking the center line when the contact happened, while Rojo Trace had just rolled up the wall and attempted to make it back onto the sand until suddenly he ran into the Crazy Cat's Eye. That's pretty much what we got for Blue Eye's argument. It wasn't their fault. And for Rojo Trace, well, he was clearly bumped. The contact caused him to not finish the race, which does result in a disqualification. Let's now check out the reasoning behind the official ruling. This article here sums it up in a great way. We'll highlight some key points, like for example, the overall reason for the ruling, which states that, quote, "In the Marble League, marbles are disqualified when they perform an action that ultimately prevents another marble from finishing the event." I've seen arguments where marble rally incidents are brought up, so I thought that was important to point out. And additionally to that statement, the officials believe that, quote, "Blue Eye's actions hindered Rojo Trace's ability to finish the race. Thus, they are disqualified." Whew, okay. What a load. Now, I know you guys want to hear my personal thoughts, so I'm willing to share them. Now, although it's on the unpopular side, I do have to say that I actually agree with the ruling. Now, not 100%. Like, for example, I don't think it was intentional in any way. But I do think that under this precedent here, the right call was made. I think that the argument that Rojo Trace is at fault is also flawed. This is because both marbles are traveling in the same direction. Both are going diagonally towards the wall. I can't see how it's Rojo Trace's fault for getting in the way when Blue Eye was basically following the same line before the collision. So, I agree with the official ruling. Is it perfect? No. There's good arguments for both sides, but it's tough to ignore this moment knowing that other disqualifications in the past also follow this precedent. And I think that's where it boils down to. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I did say which side I lean towards, but it doesn't mean I'm impartial. Alright, that'll do it for this one. Thank you everyone for watching this video. See ya!